Hi, welcome to Underneath the Hat podcast. I am your host, author, educator, entrepreneur, Cherise Simmons. And this is season 4 of Underneath the Hat. And our theme for this season has been Speak Over Yourself. Before I get started, I want you to subscribe and like the page on YouTube, Underneath the Hat podcast. You can also check us out on Anchor, Overcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, Breaker, and Pocket Casts. All podcast platforms. Also, please share, be engaged. You can post questions and comments. You can even sew into each session through Cash App at $YLAAT 2017 or through Zelle at underneath the hat at gmail.com. You can also check out my books, Underneath the Hat, and It's That Size for a Reason, both available on Amazon and wherever books are sold. Just type in my name, Cherise Simmons, and they should come right on up. All right, so this season of Underneath the Hat has been all about speaking over yourself, and as I can see from my own face, I am tired. I am drained. And that is part of the reason why I missed last week's episode. And I've been noticing this season in particular that I haven't been as consistent as I normally am with recording and completing my podcast, which is different for me because I'm normally Johnny on the spot, but I can always tell because of how in tune I am with my body and my mental that I need a break. And so that's pretty much what today's message is about. I was looking on Facebook and I had heard this saying before, but it popped back up on my page a couple of days ago, and it was stating that you shouldn't set yourself on fire to keep somebody else warm. And I can say that over the last couple of weeks, I've been guilty of that. I have been sacrificing my physical, emotional, and mental stability in order to make sure that other people were okay. And in some instances, it was for people that I knew wouldn't do the same for me. And so I'm the type of person, I'm what they call an empath. I can be very empathetic for people, so much so till it causes me to be a doormat for some. And I've been working on it through therapy of not caring as much as I do. But when I love you and care about you, I'll go above and beyond for you. And that is what has been happening the last couple of weeks, and it's draining me. The best scenario I can give for an empathic person is a vampire. A vampire sucks the blood out of you. It takes all of your energy. And being an empathetic person, we tend to get drained easily because we become so in tune with other people and what they're going through that we allow for it to turn into our problem. And I've been doing pretty good with it, but I can see where I'm starting to revert back to what I used to do, and I can feel it in my mind. I'm getting headaches again, and my body feels drained, and my sleep is off. And so I'm just glad that my mental day is coming up at the end of this week to where I can just woosah and not do anything. I've had to say no to some things that I wanted to do, and God said no to some things for me But yeah, I just find myself trying to make sure that other people are okay, and I sometimes end up sacrificing myself in the process, and I'm tired. I can see it all in my face. And I'm glad to know that I have become so in tune with myself to where I can see it, because there was a time where I didn't even realize it was a problem. And then there was a time where I wasn't so in tune and I didn't know until I crashed. And I can feel myself crashing. And I don't like to be the type of person, because if you haven't noticed already, those who know me know my face tells everything. And I can't hide it well, even when I try. And I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. Um, I have a lot on me from my mentoring program, Young Ladies at All Times, and um, working with them with our fall cohort, which is focused on self-care isn't selfish. So I'm helping 6th, 7th, and 8th grade girls, getting them prepared now as young ladies to learn how to take care of themselves and put themselves first and realize how important they are, so that when they get to be a 40-year-old woman like me, they won't feel the way that I'm feeling now. Even though it's not something that is consistent with me anymore, I still see where there's work to be done, where I'm still growing and getting better. I'm not where I used to be, but I still have a ways to go. And so working with Young Ladies at All Times, and then the new opportunities that are coming with that, and trying to start a new cohort in the winter with high schoolers. So we're opening up to high schoolers now, and trying to balance all of that and doing it pretty much on my own. So I'm realizing now, with this grant opportunity that we have, I need to hire some people to do all of the stuff that I'm doing and train them so that they can do it, so I can focus more on my personal and professional career, or personal and professional life. And then that's in a whirlwind of dating someone new and learning them and them learning me and spending time with each other and balancing all the other stuff I have going on, and then with work, of preparing for the principal's list, and then taking the test, and now waiting for the results, and still doing everything at work that I started to do, making sure that I stay consistent with everything that I'm doing. And for those that know me, you know I'm a perfectionist, and I can go above and beyond in some instances. And I look back at the stuff that's on my list, and all I can say is, girl, you're doing a lot. So I'm feeling it. It's catching up to me. And so this weekend, I was scheduled to go one place, and those plans fell through. And so I did a good old pivot, and now I'm staying somewhere close. But I just want to be able to woosah and not do anything, and lie in the bed if I want to, and walk around the property if I want to, or go bowling, or sit in the pool, or whatever it is I want to do. I just want to be able to do it and not think about anything. And I can't wait, because tomorrow is my Friday. And I am working on learning, like it said, to stop burning myself in order to keep other people warm. And these last couple of weeks, that's what I've been doing. Professionally, personally. and it's draining. So I know what it is that I have to do. I just have to do it. The same energy that I put into making sure other people look good and other people's expectations I met, I have to put that same energy into making sure that mine are met for my own personal health and wellness. Yeah, it has to be done. So I just wanted to make sure that I came on this week since I missed last week and just pour into you all. We've all been to this point to where you're looking like I'm looking and sounding like I'm sounding and thinking like I'm thinking. And I like the fact that I have this podcast and this platform to just be transparent and authentic. Like I could have gotten on here and acted like everything was peachy keen and put a smile on my face, but I'm not. I'm past that part of my life where I put on a facade and a mask. The hat is off. That was the whole premise of my book, Underneath the Hat. I was putting on this hat as a first lady and putting on the mask to make everybody think that everything was great, when under the hat I was crumbling. I was broken. And it took more energy to pretend like everything was good than it did to just be and feel what I was feeling. And so after going through those things and going through therapy, I have my therapy session tomorrow, praise God, because I need it. I realized that I don't want to fake the funk. And so this is me, this is who I am, this is how I'm feeling at this moment, because I believe that my testimony is going to be somebody else's breakthrough. And so if I get up here acting like everything is great all the time, then I'm not really using my platform to the best of my ability. And I'm not really helping someone who can see me and realize that even though you feel like this, even though you look like this, even though you're thinking these things, you can still make it. I know what it is that I need in order to get over this hump that I'm in. And I'm going to do just that. I have a plan of action to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And we're all human. There will be moments where this does happen to me again. But because I know what it looks like and how to go about fixing it, it won't happen as often. So I don't want anybody to get on here and think, oh, it'll never happen to her again. It will, because it's happened before. That's how I know now what to do based on the mistakes that I made and the lessons that I learned the first time it happened. So I just want to encourage you all to put yourself first. I mentioned my mentoring group, Young Ladies at All Times. One of the lines in our mantra, our motto that the girls say to each other at the beginning of our session and at the end is, you are important. Love yourself first. And I always tell them it's hard to pour from an empty cup. If you are on empty, you can't fill somebody else. And so we always have to make sure that we are taken care of, that we take care of ourselves, that we are full emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, so that we can help somebody else. And so I encourage you today, if you feel like your body is telling you, that your mind is telling you, that your emotions, your heart, and your spirit are telling you to take a break, take the break. Those same people, those same problems, those same to-do lists will be there when you get back. Take a break. And as an educator in Chicago Public Schools, I know for a fact that if anything were to happen to me on a Wednesday, by Friday or Wednesday of next week, they will have someone else in my place. So I'm no longer going to sacrifice myself or put myself on fire to keep somebody else warm. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I hope and pray that something I said has helped you. I ask that you subscribe and like to the YouTube page underneath the Hat Podcast, and check me out on all podcast platforms: Anchor, Overcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, Breaker, and Pocket Cast. Also, share this with someone you may know. We all know of someone that needs to woosah and take a break. So share my testimony with them, and hopefully it'll be a breakthrough for them. And you can check out my books to learn more about what I went through underneath the hat in order to get to the place that I am now. And why is it that size? For a reason. My journey through infertility. There are so many lessons that I learned in the 40 years I've been on this earth in these 2 books that I'm sure is going to help someone. So again, don't set yourself on fire to keep somebody else warm. Do what you need to do for you, and everyone else comes second, because you are important. And as always, remember to take care of yourself underneath the hat. I will see you next week.